89.9 The Light, you're with producer Casey this morning. We're chatting about the events that happened in Sydney. Like many of you, we woke up to the deeply distressing news out of Bondi. And events like this can leave us shaken. And for parents, it often raises the question, what do I say to my kids? To help us navigate that, we're joined by parenting expert Sharon Witt. Sharon is here to help parents support their children as they process this difficult news, and for yourself, managing fear and finding reassurance in moments like this. Sharon, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's just horrendous what's been happening. The events that have unfolded in Sydney over the past 12 hours have been truly horrific. And one of the things that, has been really apparent is the immediacy of the reporting. Within minutes, we have got rolling feeds and we've got live coverage on television, and we've got, for adults, our social media blowing up and people sending messages. And, that is just one of the things I heard just as I was watching the news early this morning, is that it's so quick, and within minutes it's, there's live footage going around. And so for us as parents, that the challenge is to help our kids, and especially our teens, navigate this. So a few things that are really important is, as much as we can as parents, is to, keep them away from this rolling coverage, because once those images, and there are a lot of images and a lot of live footage going around, once those images are in especially children's minds, they can replay, and they might think that they're okay, but it's really important that we monitor what our kids are actually seeing. So limiting the media consumption around this, not having the news on, even though as adults, I guess we naturally want to see what's happening and get the latest news, but I think having those media outlets switched off is really important, especially if we've got young children in our homes.
Yeah.
The other thing is when young children are going to ask questions, keep that information really simple. So if you've got young children who are saying what's happening, or they're hearing the news, just keep it really simple. There was a scary incident in Sydney yesterday. Some people were hurt. The police came and they've taken those bad people away. Yeah. Keep it really, really simple. And once again, try and keep that news off, because they will keep hearing things, and, often what they can imagine in their mind is actually worse. And modelling calm for our kids. We as adults need to keep our own nervous systems in check. And this is a really pivotal time where we just need to actually switch off the media and just what we need to know, and then try and keep it off, because we can ourselves, go down that rabbit hole of getting, spiralling. So we need to actually keep calm ourselves. And one of the most important things is when tragedies like this happen, is to remind our kids, especially our teenagers, that there are amazing acts of bravery and looking for the helpers. There's a quote by Fred Rogers that says, "Look for the helpers. You'll always find people who are helpers." And there were people that we see that just step in. Look for those people who just rushed in to help others. Yeah. And in times like this, when there's absolute tragedy and senseless tragedy, we can look for those people that stepped in and, risk their own lives to help others.
That's so good, Sharon. My goodness. And it's true what you said about the news being everywhere this morning. I woke up to it on my phone, and then in the studio we have 3 TVs. All of the news sites right now are playing this. So it's great. I will be reminded to switch off my phone and those TVs later. And in saying that, I'm just thinking about when I was a teen, and I'm always on my phone and talking to my friends about what they've heard. I'm just concerned for the teens that might be talking about this with their friends. How can we help protect our teens?
Yeah, absolutely. And even with this new social media ban, we know that our kids are savvy and they will be all over this. And the thing that is really quite scary about this is there is, almost immediate footage. That everyone has a phone these days, and there's so much video footage going around, and our teens are naturally inquisitive, and, there's that shock factor. So they will be seeing a lot of images, a lot of dramatic images, and we need to kind of, reassure them to be careful about and mindful about what they allow into their minds, because those things do repeat, and we want to remind them to be calm and to switch off and to not let this ruminate over and over in their minds. And I just want to encourage parents to have conversations with our teenagers about switching off, and I think as parents we can model that. So if we're modelling to our teens, switch it off, you need to protect your mind, and we don't need to constantly, find out about what's going on next. And just remind them to switch off as well. So as parents, we can model that as well for our kids. and just remind them that they are safe and that this is a rare occurrence in our country. But naturally, there are some teenagers and young children that are going to be quite distraught and nervous about this. So just look for signs that your child might be feeling a little bit anxious and unsafe and uncertain, and just remind them that we are very safe and that this is a very rare occurrence, and that the bad people are now in custody.
Thank you so much, Sharon. That was just so insightful, and I'm sure the Light family really appreciate it. So thanks for your time.